Hi, I'm Kathy Bissell. Welcome to the Golf Show 2.0. I'm here with my co-host, Gary Van Sickle, and a special guest who this time is in between the two of us. Usually it's someplace else, like on a side, one way or the other, but I think we have him surrounded. Gary, why don't you do some
Like
introductions?
he's Paul Lynde the Block on Hollywood Squares. Go back to that TV show. We've got David Millington of Golf Brands Inc., and he's part of the comeback story of the year in golf. The Ram Zebra putter, Be Still My Heart, is back, and honestly, it looks better than the original. David, tell us how this resurrection happened. This is the biggest resurrections. Well, I'm not going to go there.
No, let's not go there.
It's a nice resurrection. Tell us about how this happened. The Ram putter is back. The Ram Zebra.
Yeah, so thank you for having me. So we purchased Ram, Zebra, and Teardrop about 4 years ago, with the hopes of sort of resurrecting the brand, like you said. So we've been working very hard over the last couple of years to try and get this product ready. We had somebody called Osty Rollinson who came in and consulted us for 2 years. He's been in the golf industry, particularly putters, for 20 odd years. So he came and consulted with us for this project for a couple of years. The project took slightly longer due to COVID difficulties with, whatnot. But we were, ultimately, actually, it probably ended up being the best thing because, we got to relaunch it this year, just earlier in January at the PGA show. And the response has just been incredible. So like I say, yeah, we relaunched this and along with other products, Ram, Zebra, and then, Teardrop down the line as well.
Was who did the design work was on the new model? Was that Robinson or was it?
So Osty Rollinson, he was the one who did a lot of the design work, a lot of the technical stuff as well, to ensure the highest quality on this relaunch.
Did they have to go back and talk to anybody from the old days who designed the original? Did they have to get any old blueprints? Did they just break it down and try to recreate it in only better?
Yeah, a little bit like that. We the office is filled with old style Zebra putters. So yeah, we've kind of worked back from that. So on the traditional shape, which is what we call the AIT1, it's kind of the traditional shape. It's slightly larger. It's a slightly larger head than before, just to balance the weight. But obviously, that's still got that traditional look and feel.
Were any zebras harmed in the making of this putter?
No, I can assure 100% no zebras were harmed.
And so that means if Gary and I want to break into your office, we could still get an original Zebra putter.
Yeah, we have some old MacGregors in here as well. So we should probably open a museum.
Yeah, yes. Well, they were very famous putters. I remember Nick Price and Raymond Floyd being very successful using them. And most people remember Floyd, but I had to look up Nick Price to be sure he had used that, and I think he used it to win the British Open.
So he won, I think, the '76 Masters with the Zebra, and then Nick Price was 1994, the 1994 Open.
Yes.
So yeah, it's there's been a lot of history around it, and I think a couple of years ago, Zebra was voted one of the most influential golf clubs of all time. So which is also amazing to have had. Yeah,
I think when Raymond won the '76 Masters with it, it was still a pretty new club. People didn't know much about it. I think I read in your brochure that Dave Taylor invented the original putter in 1976 or so.
Yeah.
So I think there was
pretty much straight away.
There was a lot of excitement about Raymond using this unusual club, and he won the Masters and just scorched the place.
Yeah. So I mean, it's amazing. I believe it was a little bit before my time, '76.
Yes.
But, from the history I've read, I think it was Dave Taylor started the company back in '76, and then Raymond Floyd won, I believe, in '76 as well. So it's an incredible story, an incredible history with the brand. So,
well, tell us just briefly about the made model, which is what looks like the original Zebra, the AIT1. It's got some adjustable weights. It's got the mill.
Yeah.
I think you said it's a little larger than the old Zebra.
Yeah.
I putted with it at the show where you were at, and it looks great. It feels great. I mean, it feels like a top of the line, state of the art putter. Which I wouldn't say that about the original Zebra.
Yeah. So we kind of, like I said, we based it kind of off the old style, but like you said, it's a slightly larger head. But we wanted to keep that heritage design around the product. So it still has the zebra alignment aid on the top, which is obviously the iconic part of the putter. We took away the plate on the bottom, where a lot of people at the show, there was a lot of nostalgia. There was a love-hate on the original plate. Some people loved it. I think if you were quite hands-on, it was great. If you just wanted a putter, some people didn't seem to love it as much, but it was ahead of its time back in '76 on adjustable weights. So instead of the plate on the bottom now, it comes with 2 adjustable weights. We as standard, it comes with 2 15 grams, and then we have adjustable weight kits for 10 grams or 20 grams, depending on the feel for the customer. The head itself it has 2 inserts. So it has like a urethane insert, which kind of give that soft feel when you putt, and then also a steel milled face insert as well, which will kind of give you that responsiveness when you're putting.
Yeah, that urethane is right between the milled face and the putter head itself, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
I've always been partial to mallet-shaped putters, and to tell you how old my putter is, I have an Odie Chrisman, and it has a wooden shaft in it. He just made them that way, but
yeah,
it's a mallet-shaped head with this wooden shaft, and I just love it. I love the feel of it.
Yeah.
I love the way the ball comes off the face, and you can kind of feel the putt in your fingers after you hit the ball, so you get some feedback from it, and it's hard to find that in a lot of putters today.
I actually personally use the AIT one. I love the mallet feel as well. What we did in some other of the models as well. So we kind of had that traditional one, and then when we relaunched, we did 4 models total. So we did another 3. So we did another 2 mallet putters, kind of as the market expects now. So like kind of a fang design, and then we also have one of the blade, a blade putter as well. For a lot of players prefer to use a blade. So we kind of wanted to offer that sort of zebra quality alignment aid that we have from the AIT one throughout all the 4 models.
Yeah, talk a little bit about the second one, which I don't know. It doesn't really remind me of any other putter. It's almost like a spider, TaylorMade spider, but it's squarish, but it's missing. It's got a hole in the middle. It's got a circle around.
Yeah, so,
what do you call it? It's got a gap in the middle, a round gap.
Yeah. So that's the AIT 3. So
that's the 3. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so the 2 is it has a sort of a fang design.
Yeah, it's got the prongs on the end. It's great for barbecuing if you're not playing golf.
Well, someone told me it was good for back scratching. So
that would be.
It's so the AIT 3 as well. So it's actually got the highest MOI of all the putters that we've relaunched. So it has the weight distribution with the hole in the middle, as you said. But still, we kind of kept that zebra element to it. So it still has that alignment aid on the top of the club. So you can, as soon as you see it, it's a zebra, which is kind of what we tried to do throughout the whole range. That one, again, it still has the urethane insert and also the milled stainless steel face insert, and then adjustable weights again. So we did the adjustable weights throughout all models. So it's the same weight for all 4 models, just to keep it easier for our sort of stock lists and whatnot.
You just feel like you've got to have a blade model for those other people who are looking for that, I guess.
Yeah,
but it's got the stripes, so you can tell what brand it is.
Yeah, so that was probably the hardest one to put the stripes on, because there's obviously limits to where you can actually put the stripes on, but we got them on, so it still has that iconic sort of zebra feel as well.
Now, where are you manufacturing these putters?
So they're all made out in the Far East. So we, a factory closely there, along with partners here in the US, such as Wind Grips and KBS shafts.
Okay.
To everything is then assembled out there and then shipped over here.
So you probably did have problems last year just getting things back and forth.
It's a weird, I used to actually live in Hong Kong, so I used to be in and out of everywhere in the Far East all the time. And then obviously with the global shutdown and, particularly in China and places like that, we hadn't actually been able to visit the factory. So there was a lot of air freighting of samples and to make sure everything was perfect. And like I said, that's kind of the project took 2 years. but there was just the golf industry was as a crazy time during COVID, just with the demand, but also the lack of of product. So it did take a little longer than we necessarily wanted, but it kind of ended up, we looked at it at the end of the show this last week, and we're kind of happy that it happened that way, because the show was particularly busy this year, and last year it wasn't as busy. And so it was kind of a really nice relaunch for us. We got everything perfect. We got inventory sorted. So we're raring to go now.
What's it like to live in Hong Kong?
It was good. Yeah, I met my wife there, and my son was born there, so it was always in a special place in my heart. But yeah, I lived there for about 12 years. For a work point of view, I work quite closely on the product side of the business. So I was able to we have different suppliers, whether all around Asia. So I was able to be in and around there all the time. So which was great, and it's a great city as well. I mean, it was a great.
How many languages did you have to learn to live there?
Well, I started learning Mandarin when I got there, but it was a little bit of a challenge just because there's different dialects in every different location you go in China, and then Hong Kong has its own language, which is Cantonese. So I must admit I kind of stopped. But there was that British element as well in Hong Kong. So English was pretty much spoken everywhere. So,
what was the best food you ate there that you never would have thought you would eat when you were growing up?
I don't know. I know obviously the obvious one to say, but Chinese food there it's different to anything you get here. Your PF Changs and whatnot is not what Chinese food is really like. But yeah, no, that anywhere you could literally stop on the street and you can get these little dim sum or whatnot, and that was pretty cool to be able to do. And took a bit. You had to get brave to go and stop at a street vendor, but
you didn't have any fried electric eel or fricasseed shark eyes or anything like that.
Not that I'm aware of. When I've been in certain places in the Far East before with suppliers and stuff, there's stuff that I don't always know what I'm necessarily having, but. We try and stick to chicken and things like that. But
you probably know the geography of China reasonably well if you went around, because most of us in the West really don't know much about China. So you know your way around the country a little bit.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of the industries, golf in particular, is sort of located in Dongguan area, which is about an hour train journey from Hong Kong. So it was kind of easy to go in and out on day trips. But yeah, I'd been doing it. I was up and around there for sort of 12 years. So I got pretty good on knowing where to go and how to get around, and I'd get trains, and, occasionally I'd get lost, but on the most part, it was pretty good. And, everyone looks after you very well when you're over there as well. So, which is great.
What's been the
culturally broadening
comment you got at the merchandise show about the comeback of the year here with the zebra putter?
Yeah, it was actually on demo day pretty early on. A guy picks up the AIT one, the sort of original design. He picks it up and puts it, and he goes, "It's like having a Guinness with an old friend." And that was kind of one that stuck with us. But
was that tough for you? You've probably never had a Guinness, right?
I'm originally from England. I mean, it's kind of.
I know. I think you might have had a couple.
Yeah.
But under rule of law, you had to have some.
Yeah. Well, when it's your 18th birthday, that's what you have to do.
Is there thought of, if this goes well, might a teardrop putter reappear at some point?
Yeah, so we're actually prior to the show, we were actually already developing a teardrop range. So we're hoping to drop that sort of 2024. So that's kind of happening right now as we speak, and then kind of working with the zebra range as well going forward. Yeah, I mean, like I said, that we had to sort of decompress after the show because we were hoping that it would be a success, but it was just incredible, the response that we got from everyone. There was really a lot of nostalgia around about it, but everyone, you didn't really have any negative comments about anything, and that was, for us, was incredible. And there was, so we kind of, since then it's been really, really busy. This week has been, getting to all our clients that we met, and we picked up distributors all over the globe as well, I think in 15 countries. So it's been really, really incredible response thus far. So yeah, like I say, the teardrops, it's in the works, as is some, we're going to develop that zebra range as well.
The teardrop putter, for those who may not remember it from the past, had a rolled face.
Roll face, yeah.
Instead of a flat face. And I'm trying to remember in the recesses of my brain what the reasoning was behind that. It had something to do with getting a overspin on the ball. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're obviously looking into all of that right now, and we got all the trademarks along with when we bought the brands of Rollface. So we're looking at that and just kind of developing that right now. For, like I say, for a 2024 launch.
Well, you also bought, I think, the MacGregor Club line. Yep. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we bought about 2 years ago for the US, most of the world, pretty much excluding Europe. So we've been relaunching that in the last couple of years as well. We've been kind of busy relaunching these brands. And yeah, so we just did a high-end iron, a forged iron that actually just got in Golf Digest's hot list for 2023. And again, the response at the show was incredible for that. We kind of based it again like we did with Zebra, where we use a historic MT head, MT86 or MT20 head, and redesigned based on that. But so we kind of kept that traditional shape, but then packed it with today's technology.
Those irons are pristine looking. They were just about the best looking irons I saw at the show. They're just beautiful.
Thank you.
They look like the old forged blades for better players. I didn't get a chance to hit them, but it's one of those things when you're golfing, you walk by, you look at those and you go, oh my God, I got to hit those. I mean, that's that feeling they give you. I mean, even more so than the old MacGregors. I mean, they look, I've got a set of MacGregors when they came back in the 90s that are blades, but these look better than those. Who helped resurrect those design wise?
Yeah, so actually, Osti also helped along with those irons as well. So he kind of came in and really focused on those two, Zebra and the MacGregor side of things. So he was instrumental in sort of getting them to that level as well. Again, it was a process that was involved a lot of shipping of goods around the world to kind of to get them perfect and get the weight right. But honestly, we're so happy and proud of them. And it was one of the things when we kind of relaunched MacGregor as well. We wanted to relaunch it, and kind of the same with Zebra. We wanted to relaunch it in a sort of to that sort of premium, to offer some premium product as well as it used to have in its history. So,
well, there's one pretty famous guy who did fairly well with the MacGregor irons.
Yeah, we'd love to have him back one day, but I'm not sure.
Maybe you get him to make a cameo in like one commercial or something. You might be able to afford one commercial.
I mean, that's the thing, is the history on MacGregor as well. I mean, I think it was we got told it was the second most winningest major brand still to this day, actually only second behind Wilson. So the history is incredible on all the brands that we've managed to acquire over the last couple of years, so we're incredibly proud and sort of lucky to have them.
Well, it takes a lot of brands to add up to Jack Nicklaus's 18 majors.
Yeah.
I'm not sure all 18 were with MacGregor, but probably at least 14 were. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure on the exact amount, but he won quite a few with MacGregor.
Gary, did you play MacGregors when you were a kid?
I either couldn't afford them or I really wasn't worthy enough. I wasn't a good enough player to be playing. The two clubs you aspired to attain would be the Hogan's irons and the MacGregors. But if you're an 8 or 10 handicapper, you didn't need to be playing those. That's like a beginner pianist trying to play on a baby grand. You don't need to be on that. So I wasn't good enough to really be worthy of those. I didn't earn them.
I had hand-me-down MacGregors from my mother. They were Louise Suggs brand on the top of the driver, I think, or the side of the somewhere, and definitely on the back of the irons. I don't know what's happened to them, but they were heavy clubs, and you could really feel where the club was. You could feel where you needed to be in your swing. And then my dad, the crazy amateur golfer, switched everybody in the family to pings, and I haven't been able to feel a club head since. So I don't know if that's better or worse. But well, I remember them with fondness.
Suggs played MacGregor, so you can add a few more majors onto that.
Yeah.
Major total for MacGregor. And I'm sure a few other ladies You know, we don't hear much about what the ladies played equipment wise because they didn't get, you know, 1/10 of the attention the men did. That'd be interesting. What did the ladies who won women's majors, what equipment did they use over the years? That would be a really interesting timeline.
Well, there are probably only a couple of people still alive that we can ask. So,
yeah, and who can remember what they, you know, how often did they switch?
Yeah.
You know, Judy Rankin would certainly be one of them. But anyways, it's cool that MacGregor is back. We didn't mention the pricing on this. The Ram Zebras were, correct me if I'm wrong, David, where I think they were $249 and the blade was $219.
That's correct. Yeah.
And the MacGregor irons,
they were $899. Yeah.
$899. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's
I didn't want to say $699, and then when $899 would have sounded expensive.
And what is that? Is that what through pitching wedge, or do you have other wedges?
That's 4 through pitching wedge.
4 through pitching wedge. Okay.
That's really reasonable. You know, when Hogan irons were back until about a year and a half ago, and they went under because they didn't have enough money. But they were really good clubs, and they were selling direct to consumers, and they were similarly priced. They were very reasonable. They were a good buy. I was really surprised. They kind of went by the wayside, but you know, you got to have financing, and that's
of course.
It's not enough to have a good product or even a product that looks good and works well. You've still got to have money to keep everything going, and you know, it helps if you can market a little bit, even if it's direct to consumer. David, the MacGregor irons, are those also hopefully going to be in shops, or where you
they're going to be all direct to consumer. So they will be all direct to consumer. We just signed a exclusive deal with MacGregor to be in the US. I think they've got about 350 stores in the US, the sports store in the US. So they're going to they'll do golf in store, and will be all direct to consumer for MacGregor.
Tell us a little bit about the history. You're with Golf Brands Incorporated. Who started it, why, and how long has it been around?
Yeah, so it's a family business, actually. So Dad has been in the golf industry pretty much his whole life. And he started, we had businesses, golf business in the UK and the USA, and probably started around 25 years ago. And sort of at the very beginning, he didn't have any brands per se, but over the years, we've kind of acquired brands. So on top of the Ram, MacGregor, Zebra, we also own brands such as Confidence Golf, Pro Simon Golf, Forgan Golf. So we kind of all the time we've sort of, anytime brands become available, we look to try and get hold of them and keep adding to the portfolio. And obviously in the last couple of years, we've, you know, been able to really, you know, pick up some huge brands. So, you know, we're particularly lucky in that. So we do a lot of direct to consumer on package sets and things like that on Amazon or on our websites. For the Confidence, Pro Simon, all of those other brands we do a lot of direct to consumer on Amazon. So we have the #1 junior set, the #1 golf bag, and those sorts of things. So we have a lot of volume on those sorts of things as well. And then we've sort of focused, since we've got these bigger brands as well, been focusing on trying to develop these to sit higher than the other products and offer real quality at affordable prices.
So who's the ace golfer in the family?
Simon Simon dad is #1.
Who's #2?
That would be me, and then James is the. I guess it depends.
Your brother James
the most, I guess. Yeah.
And where in England are you from, and what courses did you grow up playing on?
So originally from just outside of Birmingham. I didn't play a whole lot of golf growing up. Kind of did, but never really serious. I didn't particularly like playing when it was cold and rainy, so kind of ruled out 360 days.
Yeah, that's it for
no problem.
Yeah, but because Dad always had the business out here. He was actually based in Palm Springs before, so we always came over most holidays and stuff. So we got to play a little bit in Palm Springs. That was probably the place I played the most growing up. Was actually sort of PGA West and in La Quinta. So it was a pretty good place to play a lot of golf.
Yeah,
pretty strong golf courses to start on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
yeah. I mean, I had some bad stories on the 17th on the stadium, but
I think everyone can say that except maybe for Lee Trevino.
Yeah,
he made that hole-in-one in the Skins game, famously won a lot of money at the time. It's chump change now, but that was a big deal.
Yeah.
What's your favorite? What's the favorite golf course you've ever played?
Probably Pebble Beach. The history behind it, just knowing, every hole, even though you've never played it. That's kind of like the coolest thing, I guess, about it. just every year you watch the AT&T or you watch the US Open. So that would probably be the coolest one I've ever played.
Did you ever think that you guys would someday have Ram, Zebra, and MacGregor? I mean, it's astonishing that one company wind up with the rights to both. If you pick up Hogan, you'll really have a monopoly on the great names.
Yes, you will.
We pinch ourselves every day almost at how we got such amazing brands, really. That was kind of the thing when we relaunched it. It was like, right, we've got these amazing brands now. Like it's kind of like our responsibility to get them, try and get them as up to as high as we can. Obviously former glories might be difficult just given the sheer, they were the biggest. MacGregor was the biggest back in the day. But yeah, that was kind of our aim, is to bring them back, high quality, good value, direct to consumer sort of model for us. Obviously Zebra is slightly different, but for MacGregor, that was kind of our aim as well. But yeah, we're incredibly lucky. Every day we kind of, especially after the show, we were like, how, when you get that feedback from everybody, whether or not somebody was necessarily interested in the product, but if it was just somebody stopping by just to tell you like, I love these clubs growing up. They were my favorite set of irons, or I still use them. This is awesome. Thanks for bringing them back. Like it was an amazing sort of experience to the show for us.
It's like seeing an old friend.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, there's that Guinness, but except you already probably finished the last Guinness, so you got to get another one. But you're the caretaker of this legacy, and based on the products I saw at the show, it's in good hands. Speaking of selling things, it's time for our shameless plug. To subscribe now, it's free. You won't get emails. Click like. We're trying to drum up enough business. Here's our goal, David. We're trying to get enough viewers so someday we will earn 17 cents from the Golf Show 2.0. So click like, subscribe. We're nearing that 17-cent mark. No, we're not. We're still at zero, but we're having fun. We're getting to see all the cool golf products.
Yep.
David, you already know I did my top 10 items from the show for SI.com, and number one had to be the Ram Zebra, because there's a lot of great clubs, a lot of hot new drivers and stuff, but when it comes to what got your heart beating faster, nothing compares with these Ram Zebra putters. So I think you guys have hit a home run, to use a non-English sport term.
Correct.
What would that be? And what's the equivalent of a home run in cricket?
A 6.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what you've done with Ram Zebra putter, and I think MacGregor too. So
yeah. Oh, I appreciate that. And
good luck with that. Thanks for being on our show.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Certainly.